Hi you guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Alexis here. So in today's video I am going to be showing you guys how to make these super cute basic beanies. These are basic beanies that you can literally wear with anything throughout the fall and the winter. They're super simple, really super cute. You can mix the colors up if you want. You can do solid colors like I did. I also have a green one here, which you're gonna see me make in this video, and then I also have a black one here. Super simple, you guys. You can like work this up in maybe like 2-3 hours at the most. So it's super easy. Like I said, you can mix and match colors, you can do color blends, you can do literally whatever you want. So if you guys want to know how to make this beanie, then go ahead and keep watching. So for this pattern, here are all the materials that you're gonna need. You're gonna need a hook, and I'm gonna use a 5.5mm hook. You're gonna need a pair of scissors, a darning needle, and of course you're gonna need some yarn. I am using the I Love This yarn from Hobby Lobby, the acrylic yarn. This only looks like this because I used this color for another project that I'm now unraveling, that I did not finish and that I don't want to finish. So this is why it looks like this. So I'm going to be pulling from a project that I was already working on to get this color. I believe this is the color Olive, but this is the brand that I'm using. It looks just like this. I'm just going to use this brand in this color. Alright, so the first thing that we need to do is make a magic circle, magic ring, whatever you want to call it. So I'm not going to be able to explain this as thoroughly as you probably would like me to, especially like if you're a beginner. So I'm going to try my best. If not, I'll find a good tutorial of somebody who explains it a lot better than me, and I'll put it down below in the description box. But I'm going to try my best. So first you want to grab your yarn and you want to kind of hold it in your hand like this. You're going to hold it down with your thumb. So you're gonna wrap the yarn around. You can do 3 fingers, just like this. And then you're gonna cross it over and make an X. And then you can put the yarn underneath your pinky. Pick up your hook. We're going to go underneath the first piece of yarn. And we're gonna hook the second piece and we're gonna bring it under. And then we're gonna twist it around. And then we're gonna pick this piece up right here, and then we're going to loop it through the hole. And there you have a magic circle, a magic ring. Like I said, you guys, I really do not know how to explain to you how to do this, but I'll leave a video down below in the description box if you need some extra help. Okay, so from there we're gonna chain 2. So 1, 2. The chain 2 in this pattern is not going to count as a stitch, so just remember that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to double crochet 10 into the magic ring. So you want to yarn over, go on the loop, pull up a loop, and pull up another loop. So there we have 1 double crochet. So now we need to do this 9 more times. So I'm going to yarn over, go in the ring, pull up a loop, pull up a loop, 2, 3, 4. So I'm gonna do 10 of these and then I'm gonna be back. So I've done all 10 of my double crochets. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then I have my chain 2 right here. So this one is going to be my first double crochet with the chain 1 and chain 2 to begin with. So when you're done with that, you can go ahead and put your hook back in the loop, and then we're going to pull this string tight to close up our ring. So now we are going to slip stitch it closed, and so instead of going into the chain 2, we're just going to leave that chain 2 as it is. We are going to go into our first double crochet, and then we're going to slip stitch the ring together. And by doing this, it's going to give our beanie a more seamless look. So yeah. So after you've slip stitched your ring together, now you're going to chain another 2, And remember, the chain 2 is not going to count as a stitch. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to increase in each of the 10 double crochets that we've already made in the previous row. So we are going to start our increases right here, right next to the chain 2. So not in this one, but in this one right here. You're going to always start in that one right there. So we're going to increase, which means 2 double crochets in the same stitch. So we're going to do 1, 2. So that is going to be our first increase. So we're going to do 2 double crochets in each of the stitches, which we have 9 left after we do that one, and then you're going to have a total of 20 stitches. So I'm going to go into my next one and do 2 double crochets, which is an increase. Then I'm going to go into my next one, and so forth and so forth. And I'm gonna come back whenever I am done with all 10 of my increases, which in total will be 20 individual stitches. All right, so I have done all 20 of my stitches. So once again, I'm gonna slip stitch it into the first double crochet that I did, and I'm gonna slip stitch it together. See, it gives it like a seamless kind of look. All right, so for row 3, we are going to chain 2, then we are going to double crochet 1, and then we're going to do 1 increase. So in our next stitch, which is right next to our chain 2, we are going to do 1 double crochet, and then in our next stitch we're going to increase, so we're going to do 2 double crochets. The next stitch, 1 double crochet, and into our next stitch we're going to do 2 double crochets. Next stitch, 1 double crochet, the next stitch, 2 double crochets, and then we're going to keep doing that all the way around. And when you get to your last stitch, you should be ending on an increase. So the last time that you double crochet should be in a stitch where you did an increase. So I'll be back. All right, so I'm coming up on my last stitch, and I'm going to do an increase there. So I'm going to do 1, 2, and then I am going to slip stitch into the first double crochet, and end my row. So by the end of row 3, you should have 30 stitches. So to begin row 4, we're going to chain 2 as always, and then we're going to do 2 double crochets and then an increase. So in our very first stitch we're going to do 1 double crochet, in the next stitch we're going to do 1 double crochet, and in the next stitch we're going to do 2 double crochets, which is an increase. So 2 double crochets, 1, 2, then an increase in the third stitch. So you're going to do 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then in the third stitch you're going to do an increase with 2 double crochets in the same stitch. And then you're going to do that all the way around, and as always you should end off on an increase. All right, so by the end of row 4 you should have 40 double crochets. So to begin row 5, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to chain 2, and then we're going to do 3 single crochets and an increase in the 4th stitch. So you're going to do 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 3 double crochet, and then an increase. 1, 2 in the same stitch. So again, you're going to do 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 3 double crochet, and the 4th stitch, do an increase. So 2 in the same stitch. Then you're gonna do that all the way around. All right, so at the end of row 5 you should have 50 stitches, and you can see if we were to fold it, it's starting to form the shape of our beanie. So let's move on to a row 6. Same, chain 2, and then we're going to do 4 double crochets with an increase in the 5th stitch. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th stitch, increase. And you just do that all the way around, and I will come back whenever I'm done. Remember, you're gonna always end off on a increase. All right, so once you are done with row 6, you should have 60 stitches in total. So we are going to move on to our last increase round. So for this round, we are going to want to chain 2, and then we are going to do 19 double crochets, and then in the 20th stitch you should do an increase. So you should be able to do this 3 times all around, and then you're going to end off on an increased stitch. So you're going to do a 19, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 19, and then the 20th stitch, increase. So do that twice more all the way around, and you should end on an increase, and then I will be back. All right, so once you are done with row 7, you should have 64 stitches. So we are now done with all of our increasing rows. So now all we have to do is work around and round and round until we get to row 20. So rows 8 through 20 are just going to be straight single crochets in each of these 64 stitches, and then once you get all the way around, you are still going to slip stitch, and then you're going to chain 2 again and keep going. So that is how you're going to work rounds 8 through 20. So yeah, you just chain 2, and then you're just going to do 1 double crochet in each of the 64 stitches all the way around. And then just like the other rows, once you get back to the beginning of the row, you're going to slip stitch into the first double crochet that you made on this row, and then chain 2 and keep going. So you're going to do that through rows 8 through 20, and then I will see you guys when I'm done. All right, so I'm approaching my last 2 stitches, so I'm gonna go ahead and double crochet right here, then I'm gonna double crochet in the last one, and then as always I'm gonna slip stitch into the first double crochet that I made at the beginning of the row. And then I have now completed my beanie. As you all may know, with crochet, you can customize however you want. So if you want to add more rows, less rows, however you want to do it, by all means. I have 20 rows right here. You can do 21. I am personally done. So once you're done, you are going to chain 1, and then you're going to cut your yarn. Then you can pull this yarn through, and then we're going to tighten it up. And so the last thing we have to do is basically weave in our ends. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And honestly, you can just go back, forth, and then you can just start to basically just put it anywhere you think it would be hidden. You can go back and forth. And then once you feel like you've done enough, you can go ahead and just cut off the excess. And you also want to flip it inside out and do the same with this one. You can turn it back inside, the right side out. And there you have your beanie, guys. And then all you have to do is fold it. Period. A cute little, nice little simple beanie. A beanie for my beanie. Okay, bye. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to your girl channel for more. And I hope to see you guys in my next one. Bye.